This is an object that I've had ever since I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I have no idea what it is. I think it's I don't know, like a molten piece of metal that's hardened over time. Um, Maybe a piece of iron or something like that. And what's actually quite unique about this little object, which I found at a beach um, near the Washington D.C. area, is that it kind of has a boat shape. If you look at it, when I was a kid, it had a very vivid imagination. So, first thing I thought when I picked this up um, was that it looked like a boat, and actually this has a very interesting story attached to it, and I'd like to share it with you all. So when I went to the beach when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, I was just wading in the water, just playing around. There's a bunch of kids nearby, and then this one kid came up to me. He was maybe a few years older than me. I was thinking maybe he was 11, 12 years old. He goes up to me and says, "Hey, do you want this rock?" He says, "Look, it looks like a boat." And I picked it up and examined it, and I said, "Yeah, sure, thank you so much." And this kid just gives it to me, and I said, "Thank you." And then, about maybe 10 seconds later, I said, I accidentally dropped it in the water and I couldn't get it. And he was like, "Ah, don't worry, I got it." So he swims down. Again, this was only maybe 3 feet of water, but I didn't want to put my head under there because I was afraid of fish and all that. Anyways, he picks it back up and gives it to me and hands it to me. He's like, "Here you go," and then swims away. And I said, hey, you look familiar. And I asked him if he was the older brother of a friend of mine of the time. And he was like, I was like, "Hey, are you Jamie's brother?" And he said, "No." I was like, "Okay." And that was it. And it's funny, ever since that moment I have held on to this because it was such a weird random object, and I've always kept it on my desk on display, and people have always asked what this is, and I never really had a good explanation. So if anyone can identify what this is, it's pretty hard. I think it's a piece of metal or something, but anyway, that's my this is what I brought for show and tell.